Hey, this is Joe Amos with Moultrie, and you're listening to the Son of a Blitch podcast.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Son of a Blitch podcast. I'm your host, George Blitch. And today I just had a wonderful conversation with Joe Amos, who is the field team leader at Moultrie Mobile. He's been working with Moultrie products for quite a long time. He is really an incredible person. I've been a part of the Moultrie Mobile field team now, probably for the last like 4 or 5 months. And I've been utilizing Moultrie Mobile cameras for over 10 years on both my family ranches. I love their products. They take the best camera images out there, and video images as well. We talk a lot about the intricacies of Moultrie Mobile, not only the devices, of which the Edge 2 and the Edge 2 Pro are the ones that are coming out this season, also the Moultrie Feed Hub. We dive into all this, but we kind of talk a little bit about the history and the advancements, and also how much you can utilize from the Moultrie mobile app, because it's a complete game changer. It is ridiculous, all the different features that you can utilize. I mean, the game trail camera technology is a different animal. Used to be that you'd have these massive, game trails with like a 2 megabyte SD card. Well, listen, now everything is compact. You don't even have SD cards anymore. That's right. They have internal memory into their cameras. Then you pull up the app and you can go ahead and set everything up. There's AI technology. You only want to see pictures of bucks. Boom, you set that up. You want to go ahead and have things that are low sensitivity. You want to go ahead and monitor the level of your feeders. If you have feeders, the Feed Hub technology. There's so many things that are going on that we explore within that Moultrie family product lines that I think you're really going to enjoy this and really kind of get a little bit of background of Moultrie and what all that they're doing and why they are the leader in the industry that they are. I'd love them. Like I said, happy and honored to be a part of the field team, and honored to have Joe as a friend. He's a great guy. He's the right person for the job. A great brand ambassador. He's working with a lot of different other companies and partnerships and stuff too. He's really the man for it. So I had a great time chatting with him. I think you guys are really going to thoroughly enjoy this, and make sure that you're going to check out moultriemobile.com, Moultrie products. I'll have all the links down below in the show notes, and make sure you're utilizing that. And if you are interested in becoming a part of the Moultrie Mobile field team, Joe's the man to connect with, and all of his contact is below. So make sure you do that if you're interested in learning more. And if you got any questions about Moultrie, I'm happy to answer. So is Joe. So please reach out to us. Without further ado, here is the podcast with Joe Amos of Moultrie. Y'all enjoy. Hey, Joe, how you doing today, man?
Hey, good, George. Glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here too. I'm excited. We've been doing some work together, and we're going to talk about all that. And I want to, definitely jump into Moultrie Mobile being a part of the field team. But first, I think with all my guests, I like to do the same thing. Let's kind of rewind it back to the beginning. I want to talk a little bit about where you were born and raised, how you got involved in the outdoor lifestyle, and then we're going to thread that needle through on how you're working with one of the best companies in the outdoor space, Moultrie Mobile. So why don't you go ahead and give a little intro if you don't mind?
Yeah, sure thing. So, born and raised in Alabama, North Alabama, really. And um, my granddad, I've got to credit him for really getting me in the outdoors. I mean, I grew up on a farm, so I started off young. I mean, riding on tractors as soon as I could walk. So, out there cutting and baling hay. When we weren't doing that, we were at the pond on our property brim fishing with cane poles. So that's really where I got started loving the outdoors. And then of course that led into bass fishing and small game. And eventually, when I was old enough to handle a gun or a bow, it was time to go after some deer. So it's just been a natural progression of being a country boy in Alabama. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Nice. We call it farm strong where we're from, right? All the time you're going out there and doing all that work out there, nothing beats it, man. So, when you said you kind of fishing was growing up, about when did you start doing some hunting and I obviously see this amazing deer off to your side. You got the arrow. You're doing some bow hunting. When did you kind of get into, moving into that level of getting into the outdoors and, hunting deer?
Yeah, I would say when I was around 8 years old, and then going back to my granddad, my first bow was one that he whittled out of a piece of wood and tied a string to, right? So, obviously not something that you're going hunting with, but it made me feel like I was going bow hunting. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. So it's just it's been fun. It's been a wild ride. Really enjoy the outdoors and wouldn't have it any other way again.
Now, do you still have that bow?
I do, as a matter of fact.
Okay, you're gonna have to send me a picture. I'm gonna have to share that with everyone here. That
Yeah,
is
no doubt.
awesome. Well,
Yeah,
and that's something that are you planning on passing down? Because you got a kiddo on the way, man.
I do. As we're recording this, I'm about 2 weeks out from being a first time dad. So my sweet wife has had an awesome pregnancy, and we're looking forward to it. I'll be honest, I'm a little scared, but I think that's natural, is what I've been told.
It is totally natural, and you're gonna do great, man. I mean, it's definitely, I think that first 6 months of like trying to figure out what that whole thing called sleep is, that was definitely. And that is like, I think once there's a certain amount when like, some of my friends be like, oh yeah, my kid sleeps through the night. I was like, yeah, mine did not. It was, she was up all the time, but it's a joy that, being a father, there's nothing that beats it, man. Nothing that beats it. And so I'm excited for you, man. It's nothing like, looking at your kiddo for the first time and your life will change forever. I'm sure you've heard it and, you've witnessed it with friends, right? But it's coming up. So listen, let's kind of jump into what you got going with Moultrie Mobile. How did you get involved with them? Were you working with some other companies in the outdoor space before? And like, how did you end up being, obviously the field team leader over there? And you've had a lot of other roles with them, but kind of talk to me about how you got involved with them and, what you're doing now.
Sure thing. So, I mean, going back to the early days, I was using Moultrie products before it was a thing, right? So, I mean, the huge cameras that looked like a shoebox that took those D cell batteries, or the 6-volt battery you had to hook in with alligator clips.
Yeah.
These things had a camera inside a housing that took 35 millimeter film. You had to go to Walmart to the 1 hour photo and sit and wait for an hour to get 3 pictures of raccoons. Like, it goes back to that. So I was using Moultrie products all the way through coming up. And so, I know they're an Alabama, Birmingham based company. And that's kind of where I live and have grown up. So, all my life I knew they existed. And I thought, how cool would that be to actually work there? But after college, naturally, like a lot of people, I had no idea really what I wanted to do. I just knew that I would be passionate about whatever that thing was. So I went into sales, and I did that for about 15 years for a company in Birmingham. Well, at the time the doors closed to that company, it was so unfortunate, but it really thrust me into, like, what do I do now? Right. Well, now it was time to go live the dream. And that dream for me is going and working in the outdoor space. And, with Moultrie in my back door, it's like, hey, I'm going to kick the door down. I'm going to find a way. And I was fortunate enough to be able to get integrated into the company. And I've had a few roles, and now brand partnership manager and director of the field team, as you mentioned. So it's been an awesome ride, and I just couldn't be happier to be where I am and doing what I'm doing, and working with and for like-minded people that really love the same things that I do.
So if someone comes to you and they say, hey, what's Moultrie all about? And, as far as some of the ethos of that company, what was it that you would tell them?
I would say that we are about the customer first, right? So we want to provide tools to people that help them execute what they're trying to achieve out in the field. And we also want to be known as the company that takes care of their customers. So I think it's well known in the industry that Moultrie's customer service is top notch. And I think that just really goes back to our core values of wanting to make sure that we are working for the people that are like us, and even the ones that aren't like us. We want to be a company that people come to know and love, is that take care of their consumers and always push to try to innovate and bring tools to the forefront that can help people be successful.
Dude, and they do that. I've been using them. I mean, just almost as long as you have. I think I had some of those old cell cameras that you actually put the quarter in the side to take the picture. I mean, they were old, man. They were, but seriously, I've been using them for over a decade at both ranches in Texas, and they've been the most reliable. And now, with the advent of cellular trail cams, and really over these last, 5, 10 years of the advancements in technology, I've seen it firsthand. I've used Moultrie feeders and things before too. I mean, there's been a lot of products that I've tested out over the years, but now I am solely a, cell trail cam like enthusiast. And you guys got some really amazing ones that are just coming out now. I want you to talk a little bit about those, because we're talking about total game changers, AI technology, things that like the actual picture and video resolution is like nothing I've ever used before. So, and that's the Edge 2 and the Edge 2 Pro. And there's some other products too I want to dive into, but can you talk a little bit about those and what it is that makes these the most badass cameras on the market?
Absolutely. So I think to talk about where we are, it's important to look at where we've been.
Sure.
Um, Last year, we came to market with the original Edge, so the first gen, the first Edge and the first Edge Pro. Those two cameras brought, in my opinion, game changing, industry changing, however you want to put it, technology. The first way that we did that is what auto connect technology. Um, I'm sure everybody listening to this will remember you used to walk into a big box store and you're looking at cameras hanging on the wall, and some had the AT&T logo on it, some said Verizon, and I know people were standing there going, maybe I have an AT&T phone in my pocket. Is that the camera I need? Not knowing that it had nothing to do with that whatsoever. So we said, how easy would it be if you just could buy a camera, you activate it and turn it on, and it just grabs the best still signal wherever that camera is located? How simple would that be for the consumer? So we did that. We eliminated that pain point. The other way that we brought new technology last year was with built-in memory. So we've all had issues with SD cards, right? That was the biggest failure point with cell cam technology, not Moultrie, but across the board. So we said, look, if people don't buy the right SD cards, they don't format it properly, some things just naturally mess up after it rewrites so many times. So what if we just made it internal memory bulletproof? You can't mess it up, you can't get it wrong, and it's going to be reliable. So we did that. We did that for both the Edge and the Edge Pro last year. The Edge Pro had a few AI technology features such as smart zones, smart capture. We can get into more detail on that, what those specific features are, because the Edge 2 Pro has it as well. But so looking back where we were last year and then to where we are today, we really didn't want to reinvent the wheel. Like, we already have something that people love, and we just essentially built off of that same platform and same chassis and just made it better and brought better features along with what we already know is working well. So now moving into Edge 2 and Edge 2 Pro, you still have the built-in memory, you have the auto connect technology, but what these cameras bring also is video and photo on demand. So now you can actually, in the app, hit a button and it's going to trigger a photo or a video instantly and send it right back to you. So you can see what's going on in the field. One way you could use that is if, you're going into a stand and you're at your access point and you want to make sure you're not going to blow out that target buck right there at your stand when you're walking in. Maybe if you're using it for security and you're just curious, like, hey, what's going on at my ranch or at my boat dock or my cabin? Like, I'm just curious, naturally curious what's there right now. You have the ability to get a view in on what's happening right there.
That's huge. I mean, I use it obviously for game, for census information, for tracking what's going on. I also use it for security. So that was something that whenever I got these in my hands, I was like, okay, game changer. I mean, first the Edge, I have to go ahead and comment on what you were talking about too. The idea of not having to use SD cards anymore and having that reliable built-in memory and the advancement of being able to attach to whatever's the best. Because we have, pockets of the ranch where I wouldn't get a Verizon signal before, and I could not put a camera there because I just wouldn't get anything. So I would use an SD-based card camera, and now there may be an AT&T tower or T-Mobile or whatever is out there, and all of a sudden I have connection and I have cellular camera images coming to me that were never there before. So that is expanded my eyes on the ground, which expands my ability to kind of really have a better idea of what's going on, the census counts, what we're sending to the wild game biologist. Because in Texas, that's how we kind of get our numbers and our tags and stuff for property owners and things. So in that private land ownership, that is something that has been a huge advancement. I know a lot of people who've been using that and really talk about how that is the most reliable one. And that's starting last year at the Edge. Now, the Edge 2 Pro and the Edge 2 have, like you said, some of these features. And I want to dive into that too, like the AI technology and the ability to be like, you can go ahead and through the Moultrie mobile app, you can go ahead and filter through to see particular animals. And man, talk about, the advancements of things too. It's like you used to be able to, like you said, there's other cameras we used to use, right? You'd have a blurry images. Is that a raccoon or is that a deer? Like there was the cameras, the resolution, the megapixels are so small and you just really couldn't tell. And now you can be able to differentiate buck, doe, I mean, the hogs, whatever it is, and I can get that filtration and see what's on there. It is a game changer, man. So I'd love for you to talk a little bit about the AI tech and how that has taken a leap forward, and what is your experience, working with that?
Absolutely. So, like we talked about, the Edge Pro from last year, as well as the Edge 2 Pro for 2024, have AI technology built into the camera. That's at the hardware level, George. So, um, you can actually, in the app, set your camera to only send you pictures of what you want to see. Follow me here. If you only want to see pictures of deer, you can select in the app, I only want to see pictures of bucks and does. Everything else gets filtered out. And here's how it happens. When the camera takes the image in the field, it will analyze at the camera level what it just took a picture of. If it's what you said you want to see, it's going to connect and send that up to you. If you said, I only want to see deer, and a raccoon shows up, it's going to say, well, that's not a deer. It never wastes the battery life to connect and send you that picture. And it helps you keep your gallery nice and clean. So you only see what you want to see, and you can really tailor your experience to be exactly what you want it to be. The other way that AI technology is built into this camera, the Edge Pro and Edge 2 Pro, is smart zones. These are zones that you can selectively turn off within the field of view of the camera. So imagine taking a picture and you lay a grid over it and you've got boxes. You can selectively turn off these zones. So if something is triggering in that field of view that you don't want it to trigger the camera, you can turn it off. So a couple of examples might be, put out a camera and brush grows up, grass grows, and it's waving in front of the camera and it's triggering because that's how the camera is designed to work.
Sure.
You can turn that off. Now you're saving your battery life and you're not killing your batteries in just a couple of weeks because of grass. Same thing if a storm comes through, or as foliage grows out in the spring and the limbs get heavier and they come down. We've all experienced that. Now all of a sudden you've got a tree limb and you're getting 1,000 pictures a day on a windy day. You can selectively turn off those zones and only see what you want to see.
Well, and also I think it'd be remiss if I didn't mention too, the idea of, one, that saving the battery, but two, with the Edge, a lot of the cameras before, maybe you have like 8 AA's. The Edge has the ability to have 16. So you got so much longer battery life, but you also have these new lithium batteries that last forever. Literally, I've used one for 6 months and I just decided, I don't know how long it's going to last. It still seems like it's going pretty strong, but I'm going to go ahead and recharge it. And, the next day I went out and put it over there and it's back at 100%. And I was like, all right, this is great for not having to go and change something on a week, few week basis, or once a month, because that's what it was before. Or there's sometimes you get that branch that's taking those photos 1,000 a day. Next thing you know, after a week, your your camera's kind of useless in that sense, right? The batteries run out. You got as far as solar panels too, that I've hooked up to a bunch of my cameras. And it's year round, right? I mean, every now and then I'll just go in there and replace the lithium or recharge it just to do it, just to be kind of, kind of housekeeping, right? Generalized housekeeping for the property. But it is incredible the amount of time that I can leave a camera there. And especially you think about people who are going to be hunting and different, I'm in private land, but you got public land, folks who are maybe going out there and they're scouting elk or whatever it may be, that they might not want to go into those areas at certain times because they want to keep it to be hands off. And the ability now to have months and months and months, even up to half a year, or who knows, longer, that's a huge advancement.
No doubt. And going back to what you said, all of the Edge series cameras, they have the ability to run on 8 or 16 batteries. So you have a double-sided battery tray. You can fill it with 8. It's going to run on 8. If you want to double that battery life, flip it over, put another 8 in it. Now you've got 16. So you have that flexibility there. And then you touched on it a little bit. Going to now, we have the rechargeable lithium battery packs. These things are awesome. You think about the price of AA batteries today, and these battery packs are so well priced that you charge it once or twice, you've paid for the thing.
Yep.
Plus you're helping the environment. And then the solar, that technology has come so far in the last few years. And these solar packs that we have at Moultrie, they're awesome. I've got one that has been out on my property, an Edge and a solar pack that's been there over a year and a half. I get pictures every day. I haven't been to it since I put the camera out.
Wow.
Right. And I'm at 100% battery life. I mean, come on.
Man, I mean, it's just, you and I know, and for those who've been in the outdoor space and have been working with game trail cameras, they know that the advancement of what it was before, because literally, like you were saying, these huge, and you'd have like a 2 MB SD card, and that was a lot. Like what a difference that we're at right now. I mean, this is they're saying like you're living in the best of times, right? It really is, as far as being able to evaluate the sharpness of the imagery. I mean, I think you got like a 40 megapixel image on the Pro too, right? Like that
Yeah.
is ridiculous. The pictures. So can you explain it to people? And I don't want to talk over you on this. So I'd love for you to talk about this. Whenever I got the Moultrie mobile app, right? I've set it up and it's easily paired with your cameras. I mean, literally, it's all you're taking your phone and you're just scanning a barcode and you're activating that camera. Now, when those images come through, they're already looking sharp, but there is the ability to go and download the high res image. So talk to me about that and like what it is, because you're already getting good imagery, but the level of which that crispness of the imagery, and also I think it's like a 1440 video, right? Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So the Edge 2 has it's a 36 megapixel camera with 1080p video. The Edge 2 Pro, 40 megapixels, 1440p. Like, that is just super, super sharp. But you're right. So when you have your camera set to photo mode, it's going to take a picture. It's going to be a thumbnail, which is it's an awesome image already. But if it's one of those where you're like, I want to count the hairs on his head, like you go in and you can download the high res, so you can request that in the app. The next time the camera connects, it's going to send you that. Same thing when you're in video mode. What happens when you're in photo plus video is the camera will take the photo or the video, I'm sorry, when it's triggered. What you see in the app is the first frame of that video as a thumbnail. And you go, huh, nice buck, or whatever it is. You can go in and request the video. Now, the next time that the camera connects, it'll send you that full video clip.
Obviously, your website will show some examples and all the features, and I'll have all the links below for people to go and jump into that. Another thing that you and I had talked about and that you actually sent me is also there's some new technology with like feeders. I want you to go ahead and spill the beans. Talk to me about the new cellular technology, and also being able to evaluate what's in your hopper and everything too. I mean, because this is just, I'm blown away by it, man.
Yeah. So get your pens and paper out, write down Feed Hub and go check it out. All right. So Moultrie Mobile Feed Hub. Moultrie is the first organization to bring to market a full system where you can monitor your feeder. What we've done is taken the power and convenience of cellular technology that we have in the cameras, and we've put it in a feeder for you. What this is going to allow you to do is know what your battery levels are for your feeder. It's also going to let you know how much feed is in your hopper. All right. So think back to just 2 years ago. We put out a feeder, we put our battery in, we set our times, we pour the feed, the corn, whatever it is, we pour that in the hopper, and we leave. And that is the end of your interaction with that feeder. You hope that it works. You hope that there's not a clog. You hope that the battery's good. You don't know. You come back and it's like there's less feed in it. Okay, I guess it's working. Now you can look in the app, the same place that you see your pictures, your Moultrie mobile pictures. You can look in the app and you can see all the telemetry from your feeder. It's going to tell you, am I at 80% feed level, 50%, 20%? It's going to tell you what your battery levels are, just like it does in your camera. So you know and can be prepared when it's time to go visit your feeder. You know to have the feed with you. You know how to have a fresh battery. You know when it's time to go. One other thing, the technology knows, like the system knows how much feed should be in your hopper based on your settings. If you're running it for 7 seconds twice a day, it knows how much that level should be dropping. If the level's not dropping, you're going to get an alert to say, hey, maybe there's a problem with your feeder. Maybe there's a clog. Maybe there's a jam. So at least you know that something's up. So you don't go to, prepare for your hunt or whatever it is, or think that your wildlife is being fed. And then you show up and it's like, I've got a problem. I wonder how long that's been the case. So it really just lets you know with the phone in your pocket that your feeder is going off just like it should.
Well, and talk to people about how is that monitored? What is it that the technology it's used? Because
Yeah.
obviously I have one, but as far as like laying that out for people, how is it monitoring that?
Yeah, so there's a feed level detector, and it gets mounted on the underside of the lid of your feeder. This uses a sensor, a laser sensor, to basically shoot a level, and it can tell you based on the distance in between the sensor and the top of the feed what your feed level percentage is. The cellular timer. What we've done here is we've replaced your analog timer. Where you used to go up to your feeder and you would punch in like, okay, I want it to go off at 7 a.m. for 10 seconds and 6 p.m. for 10 seconds. It's basically just a cellular timer now with an on-off switch and a test button. You set all that into your app. So as the times change, as the seasons change, and you want to back off, or maybe you've been feeding too much and you're like, hey, my feed's going down too much. You can back off on that feed. As the time changes, you can adjust for that in the app. You don't have to go to the feeder. But essentially what happens is the feed level detector will report the level to the timer, and then the timer works just as your cellular camera does, and it connects to Moultrie and relays that information. So if you're sending in new times or new updates that you want for the feeder, or the feeder is relaying telemetry to you, it's just communicating the same way as it would if you were communicating with your camera.
And I think there's so much power to the app that I really want to spend a little bit of time having you dive into that and talking about the value of that and what all you use it for and what your users can use it for.
For sure. So, I mean, you said it. The app is second to none. I feel that there's no other app in the industry that can touch it. Um, when you purchase a device, say a camera or a feeder, and you put it out in the field, your interaction with that device physically is done until you need to go visit it for some reason. Everything that you interact with is on this phone that's in your pocket. So when you look at the app, not only are you able to see telemetry from cellular feeders and your images and your videos from your cameras, changing those settings, all those things that you need to do from a device standpoint, you have that. But the Moultrie mobile app brings so much more than just looking at pictures and videos and then monitoring your feeders. It has an integrated weather feature. So everything you need to know from hunt planning is in a weather feature that's in the app. So you can look at hourly, daily. There's so many things, all the things you need to know: temperature, moon phase, sunrise, sunset, all those things. Outside of that, we have an upgraded mapping feature. All right, now this is cool. Anything that you can do with any other mapping feature, you can pretty much do with Moultrie Mobile. So you can see property lines and parcel information. That's super important. You can pin all your waypoints, all your entry access points. Anything you need to know from mapping, you can do it in the Moultrie Mobile app. And then moving into activity charting. So every image that comes into the Moultrie Mobile app carries data with it, right? So when was that picture taken? What was the moon phase? What was the temperature? All of these different things that we key in on as outdoorsmen. The app categorizes all this stuff for you by camera location, and then with all these different features. So like, it really helps you visualize what's going on out on your property. It really helps you look at historical data to help you be able to plan your hunt. Now let's talk about game plan. So game plan is a brand new feature. We already talked about activity charting, which is historical data. Now we're getting into predictive analytics. So now the app is going to basically be able to tell you when is the right time to hunt based on buck movement. All right, so all of the data that comes into Moultrie Mobile, even cameras that aren't yours, but they're in the same area, it's uploading data. Moultrie Mobile takes this data, and it's buck movement only, and it can tell you based on all uploads, this is going to be the time to hunt. Now, there's no sharing of information, and I know that's going to be a question. Like if my cameras and your cameras are close together and they're uploading data, like I can't see your info, nor can you see mine, but it's just the Moultrie system capturing all of that data. So it can tell you when's the right time to hunt based on that, along with, weather. So it's going to take into account precipitation, temperature, all these things. And it tells you like, hey, you need to be in the stand right now. So with all that being said, there's so much in the app itself that a lot of people don't even think about. But you roll all this stuff into one central location, or everything that you need for hunt planning, it's really a game changer.
Man, it's all the tools in the toolbox that you could want and more. I mean, I don't know if everyone who has these cameras understands all the data that is at their fingertips. And if you haven't had the Moultrie mobile app and you haven't set up a camera, when you do, you will see the difference that this makes and the reason why you guys are the leader in the industry. Also, something that's kind of happened recently is there's been a really advancement in partnership with you guys. Obviously, there's a whole nother level of things that have happened. You know, you guys working with the Meat Eater family of companies there too. Talk to me about that. What does that look like? How are you involved, maybe? And tell me about some of the other partnerships and companies you guys like to work with.
Yeah, sure. As it relates to Meat Eater, actually, our um, senior brand communications manager, Mark Olis, he's managing that partnership. So I don't want to speak out of turn there,
Yeah,
but yeah, we just inked a deal with Meat Eater as well as Seek One. If you're familiar with those guys out of Georgia, that's a great partnership for us, and we've got several in the works that we're really excited about. It's honestly humbling to look around at the landscape and see all the people that want to work with Moultrie. Um, I'm super pumped to be a part of this organization and all the partnerships that we're forming. There's so much in the works, some I can't even talk about, but
sure.
yeah, it's certainly an exciting time to be in the outdoor space and with Moultrie and the waves that we're making in the outdoor industry.
I wanted you to also kind of talk about your role as kind of that leader of the field team, right? And I've obviously been a field team member. I've been, like I said, using Moultrie for, over a decade. Also, anytime I have to just say about this, because you talk about taking care of your customers, the customer service that is available through Moultrie is second to none. And that is something that the reliability of being able to call someone and talk to a real person and be able to work through that, or just the troubleshooting things on the website, the things that are helped out. I fixed so many issues over the years by doing that. That's been huge. But like I said, I want to kind of jump into the field team aspect of things and talk to me about the role. And are you guys looking for new field team members? And if so, what are those kind of responsibilities and what does that look like for someone who maybe wants to join in and work with you hand in hand?
Sure. Really quickly, just to go back and touch on the customer service part of it.
Hmm,
Our team is available 7 days a week. George, if you're going to have a problem with a piece of hardware, a piece of equipment that you're putting out in the field, you're probably going to have it on the weekend when you're not at work,
sure.
right? So we're available 7 days a week to help you. And there is always somebody live to talk to. You can catch up with us by phone, by chat, by email, whatever means is most convenient for you, you can do it. But you're right. And you can pick up the phone and speak to a live person that actually cares about helping you solve your issues. So I can't say enough about our customer service team. They are a fantastic group of folks and they really do put the customer first. There's no question.
Mhm.
Um, Going into the field team, I lead the field team, and what we want to create is a community, right? I want to take the best of the best, the people that really love Moultrie and Moultrie cell cams, and I want to activate and engage those people to go and tell their story, to tell our story, right? So I want to pull in people that are interested in working in the outdoor industry, that have a love and a passion for this stuff, just like you and I do,
Mhm.
and I want to leverage those people and have them use their voice in a way that helps us push our message, right? So it's all about that grassroots, word of mouth. I just want to make sure that, or we as Moultrie want to make sure that we're in the conversation. If there's a conversation about hunting or trail cameras or feeders or being successful in the outdoors, we want Moultrie to be a part of that conversation. We feel like we deserve to be there. Um, so the team is really about spreading the message, right? The folks that are lucky enough to be on this team, they get some awesome perks, some great discounts, some exclusive Moultrie swag where they can really go out and showcase their love for our brand. And they get an opportunity to kind of get maybe a foot in the door of the outdoor space, which I don't know if everyone is like me, but I would have done so much to get where I am today. Like,
Yeah.
it's when you're on the outside looking in, it's like, how can I do that thing that I love where I don't feel like I'm working? Um, I know there's a lot of people out there like that, and this gives those people an opportunity to come in and be a part of what we're doing here. And obviously, they're going to create industry relationships and further what they want to do and their dreams and goals. And Moultrie gets to be a part of it.
being able to join the field team for me has been rewarding because I get to see that next thing on that forefront and use this technology and enjoy it and utilize it in my property. I become a better wild game manager, and that's something that is monumental for me because it allows me. Your products allow me to be able to manage the property better, more efficiently, less wasted time, which means I can do things like instead of going around and trying to fix stuff all the time, I know that I can set up, okay, this cellular, camera is going to be set up great here. I got great connection. Now I have a solar camera. I mean, a solar, panel that's connected and a lithium battery. I don't have to go and spend X many hours a year working on that. I can spend more time making improvements to the land, taking out invasive trees or whatever else it is, and replanting native grasses or forests, things that will help the wildlife. So these products allow me to be a better steward of the land and be a better conservationist. And that's what I think is such a huge step forward. And that's what I find so much value of being a field team member is being a part of that and being part of a bigger community too of like-minded individuals who are just trying to leave this better for future generations. Man, it is really something that I'm really honored to be a part of, and working with you and your team, man, it really means a lot to me. So I'm so glad that you and I have linked up and I've been able to, enjoy the fruits of this, is friendship here too, man. It's huge.
Yeah, no doubt. And you said the key word, community. That's what we want. Is we want a community. Um, we wanted just a huge family, right? And I feel like we're building that. We've come so far, and everybody on this team is so awesome. We're always looking to bring more people on the team, right? It's never ending. We want to continue to spread and grow. So I encourage anyone that has the opportunity to listen to this message, feel free to reach out. We would love to have you on the team. We have a landing page on our website. You can find it in the footer. That's just field team. And that can take you to an application where you can put in, why would you be a good fit for our program? What can you do to help us? What can we do to help you? That application will be reviewed, and, we may reach out to you if we feel like it could be something that would be a fit. I would also encourage, if anybody wants to reach out to me specifically, you're more than welcome to. My socials are Amos_outdoors. So you can find me there on Instagram, and I'm happy to talk with you about the program and lead you in the right direction if we feel like it's something we want to move forward with.
That's excellent. And everyone, I will have all of these links and obviously all your socials and everything in the show notes below. So as you guys are listening to this or watching this, make sure you take the time to go through the description of this podcast and check out those links and reach out to Joe if this is something you might want to do. I can tell you this has been an amazing experience for me, and I would encourage anybody who's interested in making that step forward. If you're really serious about that, this is the company you want to work with. Moultrie Mobile and Moultrie Products are just hands down the best out there in the industry. Joe, I want to thank you so much for all that you're doing and really kind of expanding the conservational mindset and this awareness and using all these amazing products to be better stewards of the land, to be better wild game managers, and to be just better outdoors men and women out there, man. And also while you're doing it, having so much fun, man. Nothing like seeing really good images of all this amazing wildlife that we get to, go out there and explore and hunt and take pictures of and videos and whatever it is, man. It is just such a joy. So I just want to thank you for all you're doing and for Moultrie Mobile and Moultrie Products. You guys are awesome, man. So thank you for joining me today and talking a little bit more about this, and look forward to getting in touch soon and getting out there hopefully in the field together, my friend.
Absolutely, George. Looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on. It's been a blast. Always love catching up with you.
Cheers, man. Well, you have a good one.
You too, buddy.